Hello, children of class 6. Yesterday we had done Brown Wolf part 1, and today I'm going to do the second part of the chapter with you. Okay, we had done till where Wolf, on seeing his master, Skiff Miller, he started barking. Actually, we don't know that he's his master, but according to the story, because he was any person who would come near to him, he would not let him touch him. But he saw Skiff Miller, he went to him, he smelled his hand, he licked his hand, and he also barked, and that was a miracle. The last line which we read yesterday was that it was a miracle that he barked on seeing a stranger, because till now he had never barked, he had only growled and snapped. So now the second part of the lesson, Brown Wolf. It's the first time he ever barked, Madge said. So Madge said this is the first time he ever barked. First time I ever heard him too, Miller added. Both of them are very surprised that the dog has barked. Madge smiled at him. The man was evidently a humorist. Of course, she said, since you have only seen him for the few minutes. Now, Miller added that I have also heard him bark for the first time. So now Madge is thinking that he's a humorist. Humorist is a person who makes the other people laugh. So she says, how can you say that? Because you have met the dog for the first time. See, they had the dog for the past 1 year. The dog was with them, with Walt and Madge. So they knew that he was not barking. But Miller also commented that, yes, even I've heard him bark for the first time. So she said to him, Madge said to Miller, that maybe you are a person, you are a humorist because you're making people laugh. How can you say that? You've seen the dog for the first time. Skiff Miller looked at her sharply. Sharply means that with great expressions he looked at her. I thought you understand, he said slowly. I thought you understood that he's my dog. His name ain't Wolf, it's Brown. So he told Madge that I think you've understood this, that this is not your dog, it is my dog, and his name isn't Wolf. Ain't means isn't Wolf, but it is Brown. How do you know he's your dog? Walt demanded. Because he is, was the reply. So he says, because he is. Now, children, you can also make out that naturally he's his dog, because he's seeing him, he's so happy, he's sniffing him, he's squirming around him, he's smelling his hand, he's licking his hand, and he's barking also, isn't it? And he's never done that before any stranger. So, anyhow, now they don't like it because the dog was with them for 1 year. So they said, how can you say that it's your dog? Skiff Miller turned to the dog. Brown, his voice rang out sharply, and at the sound the dog's ears flattened down. Gee, the dog made a swinging turn to the right. Now mush on, and the dog ceased his swing abruptly and stared straight ahead, halting obediently at the command. Now, the command which Skiff Miller gave, he called his name first. His name was Brown. So he said Brown, and on hearing his name, his ears flattened. And when he said mush on, that is stop. So the dog just quickly he followed his command. He understood the thing, and when he said mush on, that is stop, he just looked at Skiff Miller, his ears flattened down on his name being called out, and then he obediently followed the command. Skiff Miller smiled proudly. He was my lead dog. So he says he was my lead dog. Lead dog is the dog that leads a sled team. Now in Canada, there's lots of snow. So the people, they do sledging over there. So the dog who leads the sled team, he is called the lead dog. The lead dog generally controls the speed of the entire team of dogs and also takes them in the right direction. So he says that Brown was my lead dog. But you are not going to take him away with you, Madge said tremulously. Now she is really shaken because, of course, the dog has been with her for the past 1 year. So she said, you can't just take him away. Her voice is trembling. No, he won't, Walt announced in a determined voice. Perhaps you want to sell him. We can buy him. So he says, no, you can't take the dog, Walt said. And I think you are getting greedy. You want to sell the dog. So if you want to do that, that's your business. So we will buy the dog. That is what Walt said. Skiff Miller shook his head and said, I reckon there's nothing inside to prevent me taking the dog right here and now, and I ain't selling him. So he says, Miller, that no one can stop me from taking the dog, because as it is my dog, you can't stop me. But he says, and I'm not going to even sell the dog. Don't think in that manner. I'm not going to sell him. He's my dog, and you can't stop me. You can't prevent me from taking the dog. But what about the dog? Madge cried. Have you considered the dog? Skiff Miller looked puzzled. So she says, what about the dog? Have you considered the dog? Do you know what the dog wants? You just can't force your wish upon the dog. So she says we have to think about the dog also, and we have to see that what the dog wants. You are saying he's your dog. We love the dog has been with us for a year, so let us think about the dog. Now Skiff Miller, he looked puzzled. Maybe the dog has some choice in the matter, Madge went on. Maybe he has his likes and desires. It has never entered your mind that possibly he would like to stay here and not go back. So she says maybe the dog also has his likes and dislikes. Maybe the dog wants to stay with us. Maybe now he doesn't want to go back with you. So we have to consider that too. This was a new way of looking at it, and Miller was clearly debating about it in his mind. So now Miller understood the point, and it really was a valid point because the dog was with them for the past 1 year. They had really taken care of him, they were really loving the dog, and now he was also getting friendly with them. So she says, maybe now the dog doesn't want to go with you. So we have to consider this fact, and we have to consider his likes and dislikes. So Skiff Miller also understood the point, it was a valid point, and now he was thinking about it in his mind. Madge realized he was unsure and used the opportunity to persuade him that the dog had a choice. If you really love him, what would make him happy would make you happy too, she urged. So now Madge saw to this that Miller, he got a bit confused and he was really understanding the point. So she just took the matter very seriously and she persuaded him that if you really love the dog, you have to consider his choice. You just can't force the dog that you have to come with me if it is your dog. So you have to also consider his choice. Now, the meaning of the meaning of evidently in the first paragraphs which we've just done, write down the meaning of evidently. Evidently is easily seen or understood. Evidently means easily seen or understood. So now she just understood this. He just understood this, Skiff Miller, and Madge explained the point. So he was now thinking about it in his mind. You've written the meaning of evidently, children, easily seen or understood. Now, so Madge, she took advantage of the opportunity and she just said, if you love the dog, you have to think about his choice. Miller thought for a while and said slowly, your remarks, ma'am, have some weight. Have some weight in them. Have some weight in them means that they seem to be logical, they seem to be sensible. To have some weight means that they seem to be logical, they have some sense in them. We let him choose. Whatever he says goes. You people stay right here. I'll say goodbye and walk off. So he says, okay, whatever you are saying, ma'am, your points, they have some logic in them. They have a weight. They have some weight in them. Weight means that they have a logic. They have some sure point in it, a valid reason. So I will see to it. What I will do is that you stay here and I will walk from here. You people stay right here. I'll say goodbye and walk off. If he wants to stay, he can stay. If he wants to come with me, let him come. I won't call him to come and I don't call him, and don't you call him to come back. So now that's a very fair game. So he says what we will do is that wherever you are staying, you are standing over here, you stay over here, and I will say goodbye to the dog and I will walk away from this scene. But I will not call his name. I will not persuade him. I will not call him and tell him to come with me, and nor will you call him and tell him that he should come with you. So let's leave it to the dog what he wants. Fine, we'll play fair, Madge said. And yes, that was a fair game. We'll play fair means that we'll be honest enough in our decision. Well, then, I might as well be getting along, Skiff Miller said in the ordinary tones of one departing. So getting along means that now I must be leaving. I should be leaving now, he said. And he said in a tone of one's departing. Departing means to leave or go away. Departing means to leave or go away. At this change in his voice, Wolf lifted his head quickly and still more quickly got to his feet when the man said, man and woman shook hands. Who is the man? Man is Skiff Miller because he's leaving, and woman is Madge. So when he heard this, that he's about to leave, because dogs, they do understand. Okay, what you are saying, they do understand, they are very, very intelligent. So when he saw that the man and the woman shook hands, woman is Madge and man is Skiff Miller, he sprang up on his hind legs. Hind legs is back legs, resting his forepaws on her hip. On whose hip? Madge's hip. And at the same time licking Skiff Miller's hand. Now see how intelligent he is. He is licking Skiff Miller's hand and he's resting his forepaws on Madge's hips. When the latter shook hands with Walt, Wolf repeated his act. Who is latter? Latter is Skiff Miller. Latter is the second person. When Skiff Miller, he shook hands with Walt. Wolf repeated his act, resting his weight on Walt and licking both men's hands. Now he's licking both men's hands. Who are the both men? Skiff Miller and Walt. Forepaws are found or placed. Please write down forepaws. Found or placed in front. Found or placed in front. It ain't going to be easy, I can tell you that, were the Clondicle's last word. Who is Clondicle? Skiff Miller. As he turned and went slowly up the trail. So now they had already made the decision that they are not going to call the dog. So he says it's not going to be easy. Because see now the dog wants both of them. He's licking both the men's hand and he's trying to stop Skiff Miller also by licking his hands. And at the same time he's resting his forepaws on her hips, that is Madge's hips. So he's saying it's not going to be easy. And when he said this, he went away on his trail. Trail is slowly he walked towards his path without calling the dog at all. For some time, Wolf watched him go. Then with a quick low whine, he sprang after him, overtook him, caught his hand between his teeth, and strove gently to make him pause. Now, for some time, he was just seeing him go. Okay, he didn't understand what is the scene. And then quickly he got up, he ran after him, and he held his hand. Okay, he got his hands with his teeth, and then it was like he's making him pause, making him just stop where he's going. Now, write down the meaning of whine. A long, high-pitched, complaining cry. Whine means W-H-I-N-E. Whine means a long, high-pitched, complaining cry. So he ran after him and then he went and then he just went in front of him. He caught him by his hands with his teeth and he made him stop. Failing in this, Wolf raced back to where Walt Irwin sat, catching his coat sleeve in his teeth and trying vainly to drag him after the retreating man. Who is the retreating man? Skiff Miller. Retreating man means, the meaning of retreating is move back from a difficult situation. Retreating means move back from a difficult situation. So Skiff Miller is going, so he ran after Walt Irwin and he dragged him to the place he wanted to take him. He caught his coat sleeve and he dragged him to the place where Skiff Miller was going. He tried to pull him over there. He then turned his attention to Madge. He snuggled his head in her lap, nudging her arms with his nose, an old trick of his when begging for favors. The dogs are very clever. So he's putting his head in her lap and he's putting his nose also, and he's doing this. He's trying to make himself comfortable, and he always used to do this when he was begging for favors from Madge. Okay, he snuggled himself. Snuggled means settle into a warm, comfortable position. Snuggled is settle into a warm, comfortable position. Now he then turned his attention to Madge. Now see, Walt Irwin, he tried to pull him towards the retreating man, but he did not move, so he could not do anything. Then he went to Madge and he snuggled himself. He made himself comfortable in her lap, nudging her arm with his nose, an old trick of his when begging for favors. Nudging means pushing gently. This too soon abandoned, and when they did not move, Wolf waited for a long minute silently and quietly. Now this action also did not have any effect on them. This too soon was abandoned. Abandon means leave a place or person permanently. Okay, now see, abandon means this idea was also abandoned. It was left because they both had decided, Skiff Miller and Walt Irwin and Madge, that they are not going to go after each other. They are not going to call the dog, and they will just be in their own positions. So this idea was also abandoned because Walt Irwin and Madge, they did not move at all from their place. So the dog, he was just sitting silently and quietly. Then he was on his feet. He made up his mind. His eyes were fixed up the trail. Now then he didn't know what to do, and suddenly he was on his feet. He stood there. It seemed that he has made up his mind, and his eyes were on the trail. Trail is the path. He broke into a trot, which turned into a run. Trot is quick steps, and then these quick steps, they turned into a run. Not once did he turn his head. He cut sharply across the curve of the trail and was gone. Now look at that. Suddenly he thought, now this is the time to take the excuse me, this is the time to take the decision. And then quickly, when he saw that Walt, Irwin, and Madge, they are not responding, they're just staying back in their position, and no Skiff Miller is coming back, he quickly stood up. His eyes were fixed on the path from where Skiff Miller was going, and suddenly he walked with quick steps. He trotted, walked with quick steps, and then it was turned into a run, and then he was racing, and then round the corner he was gone, and he never looked back once also. That means he went away with his master. And who was his master? Skiff Miller. So this dog belonged to Skiff Miller, and it is true that his name was not Wolf, but it was Brown. So you can see, children, how faithful the dogs are. Whatever he, of course, he tried to first put all the three together, but all the three cannot stay together and have the dog. So in the end, he ran back to his master, and that master was Skiff Miller from Canada. I hope you all understood the chapter, and please see this video and you will understand it paragraph wise. Thank you, children.